It's time for another Dice Tower review with Z. Garcia.
Hey folks, today we are taking a look at a little card game, one of those numbers and colors kind of games called Dicht, Dran. I think that is how you pronounce it. It is in German. And in this one, it is just numbers pretty much. The cards go from 1 through 100. You are trying to score the most points by playing simultaneously with the other players. Very simple, but interesting. Let me show you. Here's what the game looks like set up for 3 players. Each player is given one of these cards in which they'll put their victory points, basically. And we put out the 1 and the 100 opposite each other, and then these 4 cards were put out randomly from the deck of cards, which runs between 1 and 100. And then everybody is given a hand of 8 cards. As you can see, the cards have a number and a certain amount of these hot peppers, between 1 and 3. And so you're ready to begin. The first thing you do is you are going to be pushing into the circle the card right after the 1, whatever it is, and this is what we call the target card. The objective of the game is basically to be able to score these cards into your score pile by playing as close as possible to the target card, alright? And so, let's say I'm going to play from my hand here, the closest card I have is the 78, so I would play this simultaneously as well as every other player whose card I've already picked, and then we all flip it. And so we have here 63 to 78 to 67, which is the closest to 66, and so that player will take this card and score it, and they will trail, meaning they will leave behind the card that they won with, and they'll take this one and put it on top of their score pile like that. And then this player and this player now would check one more thing. They have to check if the card that they did not win with is within what's called the safe discard zone, the safe zone. The gap is whatever the amount of cards is between the cards around the target. In this case, it's huge. Almost every card is basically safe. Between the 1 and the 95 is safe. So, this card, I would just discard safely since I did not win with it, and it is between the 1 and the 95. However, and this player as well, of course. Those are just out of the game. However, if the card I play did not win, meaning I was not closest to the target card, and it is not within the safe discard zone, the 2 cards around it, I would discard the card, but then I draw from the draw deck as many cards as the number of peppers that were on the 1 I got rid of, okay? So this card, for example, which was that player's card, if it wasn't in the gap, they would discard it and draw 2 more, and add those to their hand. That concludes one round of play. Now we pull this card back out, and now this next card is the target card, and everybody again looks at their hand. Got a pretty good card here. I would play that down. Now I do need to look at everybody's hand, and here's the problem. The safe discard zone is between 167. I need to be aware of that. That's fine. And so I can be close to 95 and still be safe, basically. So I can play this. And then this other player over here is going to kill it with this one. Now I should explain, since this player has a 94 and the target's 95, what happens if 2 people are the same distance from the number, meaning someone plays the 94 and someone plays the 96, the higher one beats the lower one, if they're the same distance away from the target number. And so now again we all flip these, and we would, obviously this player would win it, and they would replace this, which was really good. They got 3 points out of that. The peppers are 3 points. And then the other 2 players check. They are within the safe discard zone. They can get rid of their cards. Now the target number is 100, and here's when it gets tricky. The safe discard zone is between 94 and 38. So, if I have a 97, I should play it. But if I lose because someone played the 98, then I'm stuck with that 97 not being in the safe discard zone. I have to discard the card and take more cards to my hand, which is detrimental, okay? The game's going to keep going until someone's completely out of cards. At that point, you count up how many victory points you have on your pile. Again, peppers are points. And you subtract from that how many you're still holding. So let's say I was able to bank all these, and I have 7. And I subtract what's in my hand, 3. I have 4 victory points. We note that. We play another full round of the game until someone again is out of cards. And whoever has the most points is the winner of the whole game. And that's it. Those of you out there that have played a game by the name of 6 Nimmt have already undoubtedly made the connection to this game. And that's a fair connection. They are very similar games. I have to say, I'm a big fan of 6 Nimmt, but I like this game better. I think it has a better flow. I think it's more interesting when those strange situations happen where you have a safe discard that is nowhere near what the target card is. And so you have to debate, do I just get rid of a card and not even compete, or do I compete and risk losing and getting stuck with more cards? And so I like that. I like that you sometimes get penalized, have to draw more cards. You keep going until someone's out of cards. The scoring is incredibly easy. I like that too. I'm a big fan of this kind of game, little simple card games. And this is, for simultaneous card play, one of my favorites. This is going to be in my collection for a long time. It's a great filler. I love the flow of it. It's easy to teach. It takes maybe a couple of minutes for people to wrap their heads around the whole safe discard thing, you know. Oh, so if I play between this number and this number, I don't get penalized even though I'm trying to be close to this other number. Yeah. But once you wrap your head around that, this game is a great, great filler. I think it's awesome. If you can find a copy and this is your thing, by all means, pick this one up. Dicht, Dran.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.